October, the time of year that everybody loves for pumpkin-flavored crap, cool weather, and the spookiest holiday of the year, Halloween! There are a ton of horror games out there, but like anything else, I can't just do things the simple way, because that's boring! Nah, instead we're going to look into some hacks of 3 classic games, all modified to have a spooky Halloween theme. We'll call this Hackoween! First up, we've got Wake Up Mario, a hack of Super Mario World. Horror might be one of the last things you think of with Super Mario World, unless it's the ghost mansions or killing Yoshi to save yourself. The story behind Wake Up Mario is that Mario is, well, having a nightmare and he needs to wake up. The game takes place in Mario's home, with you playing as Mario trying to find your way out. As with any hack worth its salt, Wake Up Mario features custom graphics and music. The songs are alright, but really the game is creepiest when there's nothing playing at all. It's ominous, as if something is lurking at all times. As far as the sprites are concerned, it's more edits than anything. The boos have been changed to the Phantos from Mario 2, including the big boos. This is noticeably more unsettling, and they seem to be a bit faster and aggressive than the normal boos in Mario World. As you progress through the house, you'll be met with more and more rooms that grow twisted. Wake Up Mario isn't the kind of game to send chills down your spine, but it has an air of fright to it. At the same time, a lot of the tension ends up getting dissolved pretty quick, because Wake Up Mario is one long level that's filled with irritating cheap deaths and no checkpoints. If you played the 100 Mario Challenge in Mario Maker, you'll know exactly what I mean when I say this hack is similar to getting a bad level in that. There was potential to have something truly remarkable, but having to learn the whole level and what will happen means you won't be on the edge of your seat the whole game. That being said, it's a neat little title to check out, if for the few times it makes you jump, and it's short so you won't have to play for long, just don't expect quality. Moving on, we've got an ordinary Sonic hack, and it's just that, nothing remarkable at all here. Until about 15 seconds in, BOOM! The water is blood, the grass is dead, the badniks are impossible to kill! No, really, Sonic bounces right off. If you've ever heard of the internet horror story about the haunted Sonic game, you'll know what to expect next. The video game demon of Sonic.exe. The only way to get the game back to normal is to find and crack open a monitor as soon as you can. If you take too long, Sonic.exe kills you only after showing a spooky message first. So this hack is basically Sonic 1 with a twist, and that being that Sonic.exe is messing with the game the entire time. While not scary, unless you're into the Sonic.exe lore, I guess, this hack is pretty fun to play. It suddenly makes speedrunning Sonic 1 a necessity, and knowing the level layouts and locations of the different item boxes becomes more critical than ever before. There are a few Easter eggs here and there, and the modified music and sprites are really cool. While this isn't the game that'll make you scream in terror, it's a perfect game for playing Hot Seat, which, for those of you who don't know, is passing the controller around the room every time someone dies. It's worth noting, I'm pretty sure you can't clear the first act of the Marble Zone, or at least I couldn't. There is a records menu that shows your time for each stage, but the only way that I got any further was to use cheats. And I'm not really sure if that breaks the game or what. Either way, an ordinary Sonic hack is a neat little distraction, but probably isn't intended to be beaten. The last game we're going to play is simply known as Earthbound Halloween. This is the longest game of the 3, and I've saved it until the end for that reason. I've got quite a lot to say about it. Earthbound Halloween takes place several months after the events of the original Earthbound. You play as Varric, a bounty hunter who is tasked by the ex-mayor of Onett to find a monster that has been murdering the townsfolk of Tucson. While at first the game doesn't seem too different, it all changes once you've made it to the sewer and crossed the door to the other side. The goofy world of the normal Earthbound is transformed into a surprisingly creepy hellscape with some eerie music and sinister enemies. At this point, every foe has been modified to at least some degree, most of which are kind of jolting to look at the first time you see them. What's more, Earthbound relied on text to give the player an idea of what's happening. As such, this has all been changed to paint a far more gruesome picture of when the enemies are attacking and when they fall. The atmosphere of Earthbound Halloween rides a very fine line between disturbing and overly edgy. There's no denying that this hack is basically one big fanfic, as most RPG hacks tend to be. It's to be expected, as Earthbound was pretty text-heavy, but Earthbound Halloween deals with a side character from Earthbound Dr. Andonuts and his guilt from what happened in the events of the original game. From a story standpoint, there are times that this works very well, especially if you've beaten the original Earthbound. Other times, the story comes off as if it's going for more of a shock factor, and when certain text boxes are trying to emulate someone going insane, they wind up dragging far too long. As Earthbound Halloween is much longer than the other two hacks we've talked about, it should not be played with any intention of getting a quick fix. That wouldn't be a big deal if it weren't for the fact that Earthbound Halloween doubles as Earthbound Hard Mode. By that, I mean most enemies are extremely overpowered, and early on, you'll have to exploit the game's flaws to progress. Several bosses are beaten by luck or tedious item management that requires specific equipment to be able to beat. And I'm not just saying this from personal experience, there's a guide that comes with this hack, a la the original Earthbound, and you have to use it if you have any hopes of progressing in the game. And take a look, there's several times it advises you to exploit the game or recognizes how overly difficult it is. In other words, prepare to be frustrated if you're seeking to see this one out until the end. And that's not to say it's all bad, however. Earthbound Halloween is incredibly impressive from a technical standpoint. While Earthbound hacks aren't uncommon, implementing custom music is. Not only does Earthbound Halloween have custom tracks, it's original custom music. And not just any custom music. You might recall the last game I reviewed, Undertale. Turns out this whole hack is by Toby Fox, the creator of Undertale, and while you might see it in the sprites or writing, the music is where it becomes truly apparent. Namely, this infamous track here. Out of the three hacks discussed, Earthbound Halloween is the most complete. It's far from a perfect experience, but it is an impressive one. If you can overlook some of the glaring flaws and are a fan of Earthbound or Toby Fox's other works, or both, then you should check out Earthbound Halloween. And that's it. Keep in mind to play these games, you'll need to do some googling and a little trickery, which we won't go into detail here. But if you want to play some old favorites with something new and Halloween themed attached, these three games are a good starting point. And however you choose to celebrate, with going out trick-or-treating or partying, or maybe staying in and watching a scary movie or playing a spooky game, here's hoping you have a happy Halloween.